Okay, so what's up there, guys? Welcome back to Digger Detecting. We're on a bit of a mission today, a bit of an adventure. We're going to look for some bottles, also some coins and relics. We've got the detector there, the EQUINOX and the shovel, and I'm going on a bit of a hunch, or a bit of a lead that I got from my older brother there the other day when I was speaking to him. So he does a bit of shooting out this way. It is basically Crown land, accessible to Crown land along the lake here. He does a bit of shooting along here, and he said to me, Luke, there is a ton of old bottles out there. You need to bring the gumboots. So I've got them on today, and we're wandering down to see what he was talking about. So as he said, he just he picked up a few when he was here hunting there the other day with a friend, but as he said, there is more to go. So put the gumboots on. He said you'll be able to access a lot more. So we're going to see how we go today. We've just got to try and navigate down towards the lake there. So anyway, we'll turn that camera back on when we find a bottle. Rightio, so here we are. We finally made it down towards the lake edge here. So I can see what my brother was talking about straight away. I can see fragments of glass, whole bottles, an old jar there, a beer bottle there, necks and tops and broken bits and pieces everywhere as soon as I started walking in. So I'm sorry about that wind there, guys. There's a bit of what I was going to say too, there's a bit of new mixed in with old. That is a new VB stubby, pretty common, pretty current today, I should say. However, the first one that I spotted when I walked in here is this diamond shaped old fennel bottle. So the old drain cleaner, or what used to be like an old cleaner. You'd tip down the drains in the toilets. So the old fennel bottle there, unfortunately all broken. However, I can spot a few bottles that are intact. So this mud is horrible to walk into. We're going to get absolutely filthy today. Let's see how we go though. We're going to walk out and try and pick up this bottle that I can spot laying over here. So Daniel said if you can bring the gumboots, you can walk out and pick up a lot of these bottles that he couldn't get to. So he grabbed a few, just what he could sort of access, whilst holding a gun at the same time, doing a bit of hunting. So really cool, really cool. We might have a bit of fun here today, just wandering around. It just continues right out there too. It is absolutely littered with glass. Look at this. There's something there, little statue, not statue. I don't know why I said it that way then. That is so cool though, very cool. I'm trying to make out what it is. I can see a foot. Let's zoom in there a little bit. You can have a better look. So probably a lady sitting on a stool or a seat there. It looks quite nice, doesn't it? Very pretty. As I said, we might have a lot of fun here today. We're just going to have a bit of a pick around and see what we can locate. It's a coffee and chicory bottle right there. There he is. Look at that, intact too. Perfect, beautiful old bottle. So it might even, who knows, might even get lucky and snag a few marbles. I've got the backpack on and I'm ready to take out a few nice items today. Look at that, old copper bit of brass. Being along the lake here, it's corroded quite badly. So keep our eyes out. We spot anything good, we'll come back and we'll give you a look. Right, so we've just done a 10-minute roundup. I'm still trying to catch my breath walking our way through the mud. It's very sticky. I'm so glad I brought the gumboots. Look at my boots on this side are about 5 kilos. This one's about 3 at the moment and not carrying as much weight. Anyway, we did a bit of a walk around and walked out into the water, which was not too bad. Cleaned the boots off. Anyway, we also jumped the creek and did a bit of a search and a scour around up there. You can see all my little trails leading through the mud. So basically though, for our efforts, we found a lot of broken bottles. However, we did find a couple of nice, neat, intact bottles. So little Vegemite, a bottle there, or even a Pond's cream. Sometimes they can be. Next up is little cough syrup bottle, and also an Angus Co ink bottle, which would be sort of around World War One, 1920s, 1930s, maybe a little bit later. So a couple of little not to be taken poison bottles. He is quite an early one. He's got the little cork top as opposed to the later screw top where he would have had a lid, basically a Bakelite lid. So trying to think what to say. and catch my breath. As I said, walking through that mud is a bit of a struggle. So these are actually turned out to be Jazz Mackenzie bottles, so very, very cool. We've got a few of those at home. I did think they were the chicory and oil bottles, however they are Jazz Mackenzies. So awesome stuff to find that many bottles in what, 15 odd minutes, 20 minutes just say, just walking in here. So just as I said, on the neck of this little creek that's sort of running into here. So now what I'm thinking is let's walk that away and see what else we can find, shall we? So there is one of those Bakelite lids I was just speaking about a second ago, the black Bakelite lids, and that is what that bottle would have had, the poison bottle would have had on him, as opposed to the cork top. So we're going to leave him there. You really just can't pick up everything, especially at sites like this. Like, it's just littered with glass. So we're going to leave everything we don't want to take behind. Who knows, someone else might like it for another day, so they might like to come here and collect it, like my two sons in future. When I told Save I was headed out today to a spot like this, he's like, "Oh Dad, can you just wait? Can you not go out today?" Oh, he's a little keeper. Normally you always find these broken, so anything that you find intact, you know, if it's takes your fancy and you don't have too many, anything that you find intact out of these sites, easy picking, and it's so nice. Look, there's another little ink bottle, probably another little Angus. They are just so cool. He's a lot later, once again, with the screw top, so we might leave him. We're not going to be too greedy today. We've got to be able to carry all these out of here yet, don't we? We're probably about 3 or 4k from the car. We've done a bit of a hike. There he is. We've got a happy little Vegemite. I thought they were Vegemite jars. Found a lot of them in the past. However, some, as I said, it can be the Pond's Cream, a Pond's Cream jar. So anyway, let's keep having a look. We'll keep battling that wind. As you can imagine, there is no trees out here to stop that wind blowing straight across the lake. So let's give you a bit of a look. It's a huge lake. So, oh, there's another little Vegemite bottle. I just spotted him as we were panning around. It's very shallow too, so pretty cool. You can just wander out. Oh, he's quite stuck. Oh, big guy. There we go. That's another one. We might keep him too. It's a very shallow lake, so you can just sort of wander out there. I mean, I could go probably all the way out to where those ducks are, and still only be just under the water there. So there's another nice little bottle hiding. He would have had a label affixed to him. There's no embossing on this guy, and he's a screw top. To be honest, not really after those guys. He's a nice old bottle. We're going to take him. He's a little cork top. We are going to take this guy. I should probably get all the mud out of him too. I've got the backpack on, as I said, today, and I've got a couple of green shopping bags with me, so I can put them in the shopping bags, put them in the backpack, and take them home without making too much of a mess. So anyway, let's keep going. Let's see what else we can find. Next clip, who knows, we might be out in the middle. We are back on land now. It's getting too hard to walk through that water, and look what I just spotted. A beautiful little ink bottle. What a bloody ripper. We're going to have to, we've made little piles all the way along. Old MBCV beer, nothing too old. We'll leave him. Someone might like him in future. He's intact. We've been making little piles though as we've went, just close to where we sat that detector down. However, I don't think we'll be making too many more piles. Whoa, we might have to, that was, we nearly slipped over. That was a bit of a doozy. We might have to just start taking them with us. So I was going for this neck here, which is quite an old neck. It looks like an old beer bottle neck. So never mind, I'm sort of zigzagging, going out and back and out and back and trying not to miss anything. See my trails? Ooh. Oh dear, at least I know where I've been, don't I? Let's put this one in the bag. Oh, I spot another bottle up the back here. He is, oh, he's broken. What a bugger. What a bugger. He is broken. Cracked at the top. So, oh, there's another one. That looks like a big Coke bottle. I'm pretty much, I think, as I said, following in my brother's footsteps from the other day. I'm also spotting expent cartridges like shotgun shells and what have you. So I dare say I am walking in Daniel's footsteps. Yes, I am. Look at that. There are his footsteps right there. He's come over to suss out this bottle. He's picked it up. Yeah, look where it's been laying. He's picked it up and dropped it again because it's been broken. Exactly what I would do. Good work, Daniel. So as I said, you just can't pick everything up. I mean, if I come out here with the intention to clean up and pick up everything, I would have been bringing garbage bags, and a few more people would have probably come and helped me. So I come out here with the intention to pick up a few bottles in between the hours that I've got. Basically, I'm on limited time today. So a bit of a hunt, bit of a walk around, follow in, as I said, my brother's footsteps, and see what else he missed, or even see what he did not have a chance to pick up, and see what we can grab today. Ho ho ho! Check out the big stonker I just found. He come from there, over there behind me. We're just going to put him down there with these guys. Oh, and sit and catch the breath and have a break. So, as I said, that big guy come from over there. We just walked all the way around. Let me zoom you in. Right past, hang on, that's my finger, right past where those hay bales and those fence posts are sticking out from the lake there. And I tell you what, that was really the only big guy that we scored. A couple of little other ink bottles which are in the bag there. So we're going to pick these up right now, put them in the bag with the rest of them, and we're going to get back to the mouth of the river, or where the little creek is coming in, if you like, and we're going to have a bit of a poke around more over there. So it seems to be the real hot spot for bottles. So we'll follow our little Hansel and Gretel trail back to the river there and pick up any bottles that we've found and left in little piles such as this along the way. So we'll see you there. Rightio, so just thinking about it there before, we did start over at the creek there where I left the detector, and when I last shot that last clip, we were about way over there. We've walked back to where the detector was and walked all the way over to here, and we found a ton of more stuff. So just thinking about there before, we've got a bit of a southerly wind blowing today, so everything is blowing in that direction towards where we first started. So makes sense that there had to be a source where all these bottles were originating from, and the wind was probably be blowing them all over to where we were finding them. So we were only touching on quite, just a little bit of what was really here. I think I've really hit on the jackpot now. So sorry about that wind. There is really nothing I can do about it as I sort of wander around picking up a few cute little bottles, tiny little bottles, those guys. So but I thought I'd hit the camera on and show you this guy, the old car that's just been driven down here to the Salt Lake and left. So very cool, very cool. You can see it just deteriorating away over the years. So it was a 6-cylinder, a straight inline 6-cylinder. I have no idea what sort of car it was though. I did find the steering wheel here a second ago. Oh, look at this. Bum 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 bum. Oh wow. Hey, you know what? We should probably keep that steering wheel. He's a bloody ripper. Old steering wheel from this old car. I have no idea what it is, but how cool. So, oh, we're driving out into the water. That's no good. Anyway, we'll leave that there. It looks like he popped a fair few tyres out here too. Must have been doing burnouts. Let's see what else, what other bottles we can find. That's ideally what we're out here for, isn't it? Not to mess around. I'm a big kid though, I can't help myself. Oh, he's stuck. Here's a beer bottle, we'll leave him. Look at this, they're just everywhere. Oh, this guy is well and truly stuck in the mud. Old tomato sauce. Let's leave him there, as I said, for someone else. I'm not greedy, I do not want to pick up everything. Just something that interests me, something that I don't have in my collection or want more of, I will pick up. However, anything else, we're going to leave for other people. So, oh, what is this little fella? Oh, and he's complete. Ha, yes, little castor oil, blue bottle. Oh, he's made my day. He has made my day. I've only got one of these in my collection. As I said, we're only picking up what we really need, or what we want a few more of. So, oh, what a bloody ripper. A little castor blue oil bottle. So, and a little Pond's cream bottle beside him. We've got a chicory bottle. Oh, hell, they're everywhere. They're coming out by the bootload. Another one there, here's a little Pond's cream. You can tell by the square shaped design. Wow, I'll tell you what, I thought we were having a good run of bottles there before. We hit on the mother load now. They are just everywhere. Let's keep plodding along. I probably need the shovel with me. Oh, so I can pick some of these bottles up. and getting extremely dirty. Look how cool they are. Some of these aren't that old. Some of these might be, 1930s, 40s, 50s, what have you. However, they are mixed in with some older type bottles. So here's the old fennel bottle. I wonder why all these bottles were dumped here, or where they originally come from. Whether they were dumped off, someone, this was like the local dump, I don't know, or whether, as I said, they've continued to blow northerly over to the south here where we are now, and that is what we're hitting on. So it seems like a lot of bottles to be dumped just in this area though. So I think it is a dump, I really do. Ew, that's good, get all the mud out. Right, let's keep collecting bottles. 2 hands is always better than 1, and we'll try and pull up a few more out of the mud, see what we can come out with, and we will come back, give you a look. Oh no, oh dear, look at this guy. I was just about to say there before, I've not spotted any cod marble bottles as yet. There is the first though. Damn. And the chance of us hitting on here one today, really slim. They would have been picked up well and truly back in the 80s and 90s, even the 2000s, early 2000s. So never mind. E. Rowlands, Ballarat, Melbourne bottle, this guy. As I said, little cod marble bottle. So I found a gear stick or something, and we're popping out a few more bottles though, and we're wandering our way up to this next stack, or this next, whoa, it's so slippery, that next hoard. So we're just walking around popping bottles with the gear stick, and we'll see how we go. As I said, we'll come back if we find anything good. So we're making our next little pile of messy, dirty bottles. Get off there, get off the gear stick. Oh no, I knocked them over. And we're just coming across a heap of wonderful old bottles here again. Heaps more cods too, which is a real shame. I always hate seeing them broken. There's really nothing you can do though, obviously. It just is what it is. It's the luck of the drawer. I have found a few intact in my life before. However, they are very far and few between. I always love seeing them though, broken or not. So we are still pulling up a few bottles, irregardless of their condition, just to see what they are. And generally when you stop and have a bit of a play, you generally spot more. If you just keep wandering and walking, you generally miss them. So this guy's pretty cool, a little amber flask bottle. So very cool. He does have a bit of embossing on him. We may pick him up on the way back, so we'll stand him up. It's funny too, I put my bag down there before. Stand up there, guy. I put my bag down there before, and now I'm hitting on most of the bottles, so I don't know how I'm going to carry them all back. Oh well, never mind, we'll give it our best shot. I was thinking there also, when this he's got some nice embossing. When we come to summertime, I'm going to come back out here. So Volum Brewing Company. I've never seen a bottle like that. He is awesome. I'm going to come back out here though, because the water level will drop, and with the water level dropping, we're going to be able to see a lot more. So should be quite handy. Look at the old pot, the old stew pot. How cool. Also, a rake would be very handy out here. You could just rake along the bottom and try and pick up as many bottles as you could. Look at him, isn't he a curious little bottle? Got that little indent in the front. I've never seen a bottle like that, so how interesting. We're going to keep him. We're going to set him up in the trail of mud, where we will walk back and grab him later. I've left like a little Hansel and Gretel trail of bottles, so we will be walking. We're walking along the water's edge now. We'll be walking up along the bank, so we definitely won't miss them. So we are walking, as I said, walking our way over to that next sort of little pier or little island to see what lay there. I love this sort of stuff. It's just so intriguing. And you know what I said, if I come back out here in summertime, we're going to get more. Let's just grab him with the fingers, shall we? Set him up, as I said, on the mud line. I wonder what results you'd get if you swung a detector out here too. I was thinking there before. You just never know. You could get a few coins thrown out in amongst all this. You could get nothing. I just have no idea. So might play for us to bring the detector out here one day, and just for a bit of a play, we will run the detector over a few of these hotspot areas and see what comes of it. So, because we've got some interesting pieces coming out from the surface that I'm happening to be walking past and thinking, ooh, I wonder what would happen with the detector. So really cool, probably a lot of rust, who knows, maybe even a coin. So let's keep going, and we'll see you over at the pier. Right, so what's this? Pier number 2, 3? I'm not sure, I've lost count. And we've got some more bottles though, some more awesome little ink bottles, Angus ink bottles, another little Pond's cream bottle. And it looks like, as I said, another little pier coming out here. I really don't know what they were or what they are. It looks like a fence line proceeding out into the water. So I do have something pretty bloody special here too. Let's bring you down and have a look at this little fella. I think I may have found... Oh, we have two. I was going to say, I think I may have found another caster blue, little blue bottle intact. Oh, what a ripper. Today is our lucky day, even if we are just puddling around in the poo. Oh, that is so cool. So awesome. Oh, get all that mud out of there. He's going to be a lot lighter to take home. Oh, how cool is that? I just love that caster blue colour. And these bottles are not very easy to find. So out of all the bottles that we found today, that is only the second little guy coming out. So generally they just get picked up, you know, they're quite nice. So most people like them and they pick them up, just like me. So anyway, let's keep poking around. We found the stash of bottles, or the next stash of bottles. Look at them all, look at them all. We might take him, another little white Pond's cream jar. So I'm trying to look around. Where there's one blue bottle, there may be another blue bottle. And I'm not talking about the ant either. So that was awesome. Ah, another white bottle. These guys are everywhere. Normally you find them all broken. So awesome. We're going to put him over there. We're going to continue on. What is that guy? It's broken. Ugh, but it looks like a really cool bottle. Unfortunately, I just smeared all the embossing. We can't see anything. So oh, there's bottles everywhere. No, that's a stick. There is bottles everywhere up here though. And look, we've got a shoe. So awesome. We're gonna, as I said, two hands, come back and we'll put a little pile together. We may walk up a bit further, we may not. We'll just see how we go. But as I said, let's get a pile together now. Holy moly, do you see what I see? No, because even I don't see it just yet. Where is it? He was somewhere there and I spotted something really cool. I was coming back to show you. And now it seems like I've lost it. Let me retrace my footsteps. Where are you? Somewhere here. Oh dear, where is it? It was sticking out just enough for me to see it. I thought, right, I'm gonna go back and grab the camera. Wasn't that little guy? Although he's a pretty cool little bottle, which we will keep. Let's get all the mud out of him. Oh, there he is! There he is! Oh dear. Our third little blue caster bottle, or caster oil bottle. So how cool is that? As I said there, oh, he is intact. As I said there, I just love this blue glass. So let's give him a clean up. Today must be our lucky day. That is not one, not two, but three blue little bottles. So oh, that is awesome. I've only got, as I said, one of these in my collection. Now I've got four. Oh, the mud won't come out of there. So it's been sitting in there for decades and decades. There it goes. So we'll clean him up a little bit. A beautiful little caster oil blue bottle. So awesome. Let's grab the other one. We best clean him up too. Have a bit of a look. He's not a PEX jar. I thought he was at the start. He's not long enough, nor thin enough. So PEX jars were just sort of like little spreads, little extracts and spreads that you could, you know, put on a sandwich or what have you. So very cool. We've got a heap of little PEX jars at home. So very, very cool. 2 little blue bottles, 1 other blue bottle sitting back there. So I just have no idea how we're going to carry him all the way back. So let's keep going, another 10 minutes, and then I swear we are getting out of here with all our wonderful bottles. So, you know how I said I was going to finish up in 10 minutes? Well then, oh dear, about half an hour, we're still going, and that wind has really picked up around this corner. Let me give you a look what I've found though. I'm sorry about that wind, you'll just have to work with me. Have a look at this, we have hit the mother lode. Bottles everywhere. Who knows, this may be the original source where they were all coming from to begin with. So amazing, amazing. A lot of them look to be intact too. So we've got scrap tin, wire, an old tank. I think that tank will probably be full of bottles too. Let's just have a bit of a gander in there. Oh yes, it is. So there we go, a lot of modern rubbish. However, if you work down, you'd probably find a lot of the older rubbish. So very, very interesting. Let's have a quick scout around here, and then I mean it, we are going to get out of here and get out of this horrible wind. It's crazy. Okay, so I think I've seen enough, guys. There is just stuff everywhere out here. A lot more than what we found there before, that's for sure. So we've got another steering wheel, which I think is probably worth keeping. However, how much can I really carry today? We've got clotheslines, the old Hills hoists. We've got bottles everywhere, and it just continues on. Where do you really stop? You've really got to go all the way around the lake. I think I need an extra pair of helping hands here. So we're going to take the steering wheel, bugger it. Let's get rid of him and let's take him home, and let's go see where the rest of all our bottles are. So I'm still trying to look as I go. There's just stuff everywhere. Look, there's a fork. I'm trying to keep my back to the wind too as much as possible. There's an old fork, so very cool. We cannot pick up everything today. I think the steering wheel is well worth taking, and the bottles, we'll come back for any other bits and bobs in future. So just stuff everywhere. I really cannot, just cannot believe how much is here. You know, when Daniel said, you'll have a lot of fun. Look, there's an old belt buckle. We best bring the detector down here. So look at that, look at that. Look, I'm going to leave him. I know I probably shouldn't, but I'll leave him, and no I won't, I'll grab him. I was going to say I'll leave him and I'll come back. Knowing my luck, I won't be able to find it again though. So just amazing though. Daniel was not wrong. There's just stuff everywhere. So the old Hills hoist clothesline, motorbike wheels, a lot of bones, and on top of that, the bottles. So really cool. We are gonna get out of here now, go collect our bottles, and right, yeah, we're gonna get out of here. I keep pulling up and stopping. Let's just go collect our bottles and get out of here. So I, as I said, I'm on a time limit today, so I better not muck around too long. Oh, what's that guy? No, stop it, keep going. All right, we'll see you back at the bag, and where all the rest of the bottles are, we'll pick up along the way. Oh dear, we have walked a mile today, I tell you. I've just finished walking all the way back from where that water tank and all the rest of the bottles were, ready to pick up the next lot of bottles. So some will remember I put my bag down over there before, well over that direction, so we didn't have a bag to pick up and carry all these bottles back. So I've MacGyvered a little bit of a hay band there and attached all my bottles together. So let's put them up here out of the mud. Attached them all together, tied them together. I think that was a pretty good solution to the problem that I had. So some will be thinking, how is he holding his camera if he had to carry all those bottles back? Well, that's the reason why. So let's now get the rest of these bottles. Let's try and clean them up a little bit before we tie them to that hay band, and then continue on to our next little Hansel and Gretel trail of bottles. Pick them up too, and then we're going to get out of here. Rightio, so that's about it there, guys. We've got a nice little tally of bottles ready to take home and give a bit of a clean up. So we had to strategically stash all the small bottles into the bigger bottles just to try and get them back here. So, and the rest of them were in the back of my jeans in my pockets. So we've got a heap of inks. We've got a nice old fennel bottle, amber color. We did not find a clear one that was not broken, unfortunately. However, we've got another a heap of Vegemite and little Pond's Cream creams bottles, and you remember the first ones there that we found there this morning. So awesome stuff. We need to get them off this string now and put into the bag, bury them in the bag, and try and make our way out of here. We've also got to find the detector. He's over in the grass there, so we'll follow the creek out of here, make our way back to the car, get home, clean up all the bottles and that awesome steering wheel, and give you a look at everything found here today. Okay, so welcome back there, guys. We've got you in the dusty, dirty shed now, and a bit of a makeshift table I've just recently put together since I'm doing all this recent woodwork with all the unused pallets that I'm getting from work. It's awesome. I love it. I'm not a builder, I'm no woodworker, however, I love being creative and just seeing what I can make, especially out of free timber. So let's take you through a look now what we did there the other day. It's been a couple of days, we've managed to clean up everything on the table here. I have got you in the shed. It's raining outside, and we have the best light in there with the skylight up above. So in here, I should say. Anyway, let's take you through, and we'll start with this dirty one here. Now, this is one I actually went out for a detect there the other day, and I found this one still in the car, tucked in the car, and I thought it'd be a great example to show just how dirty these bottles were and how much effort it took to scrub them. So we may have been walking around the salt lake picking them up with ease. However, coming home, it did take quite a while to clean out all that gunk. So just putting a screwdriver in there, a bit of water, trying to stir it all up and then shake it out as best as I could. Sand and water and a green scrunchy cloth, and a bit of a few rocks and whatnot inside to shake it around, getting them all clean. So anyway, let's start with the back row. As I said, go through the bottles quickly, and we're going to wrap this video up. So we've got the beautiful old wine, a beautiful old green wine too. I just love those bottles. They got the big concave base, generally so the person could serve and hold the base there. So if you'll pick that up in any old movie that you watch, they always hold it with the base and serve, and that's what I was told also years ago. So there is other reasons for that concave base. However, that is also one of the reasons that I've been told, as I said, years ago. So I thought I'd mention it. White Crow sauce bottle, that guy. We've got a couple of Jazz F. Mackenzie bottles there. I'm not quite sure what Jazz F. Mackenzie was. And you'll see there too, just quickly, see how the embossing is a lot bolder and better on the bottle below. The top bottle there is very faint. It's not because it's worn either. I'll just say quickly, a bottle collector years ago who I caught up with and met, he was just amazing, and he filled my head full of wonderful information on the old bottles. And one of the things he said is the embossing, it's some bottles are good, some bottles are bad, and the reason being is because of the dye in the factory. So when they're pumping these bottles out and they first make the dye that imprints all this embossing on the bottles, it's brand new. So the bottles go through and they get this really high raised embossing because the glass fills up the whole die ready to make the bottles. As the bottles go through thousands and thousands later, the die starts to fill up with glass resin. Therefore, the bottles pumping through are not embossed as boldly. So it's not that they wear away, as I said, it's just that through the factory. So the die gets replaced, and the bottles end up getting bold embossing again, like this beautiful old fennel bottle. So this is a later one. He would have had a label on that side. The earlier ones have embossing right the way around. You can get them in clear and amber, just like that. You can get them in tall and small. So syrup of hypothetites, fellows, I'm not sure how to say that. I never have been able to say that one. So it's a hard word, that guy. Anyway, I'm not quite sure. He would have been a medicine, obviously. I've found a few in the past. They come in a screw top and also an old cork top. So awesome stuff. This is an old Australasian Jam Co. Melbourne bottle. Really, really cool. A bit later with the screw top once again. And a disinfectant, MFRS, an Allied Trade Association. And it's not to be taken. But guess what? We took it. So same as these guys down here, we have a nice array of little poison bottles, which we happen to pick up. And look, I've got dozens of these now. I don't really need to go picking any more up. However, when I come across them, I think they're just such a cool little bottle. You can see there, this guy is a cork top. And as you go through, you can see the later ones go through to a screw top. So we got pretty lucky. We hit on what, 2, 4, 6 cork tops and only one one, that guy, not that one, one screw top there. So bottle lid top. Next up is J. Bosistos and Co. or J. Bosisto and Co. I'll say that right in a minute. Some of these names are extremely hard to get right. Probably a little medicine bottle once again, same as this guy, even though he's got VB stamped on the base. He's not a VB beer, that's for sure. So we'll keep going with this front line here. I do think this one may have been a little perfume. I do have another one identical to this, and you can see how he's starting to turn that sort of purpley colour of being out in the sun a little bit. I dare say he was quite an early bottle. You can see all the imperfections in the glass. Being such an early bottle, I dare say he would be like a 1900s World War I type bottle, and he probably has that manganese, the chemical that was used in the glass, which makes the bottles turn purple if you sit them out in the sun for long enough. So I should know. I've got a few purple bottles, and not to mention in my collection, I have a few sitting up on the roof there, a few beautiful old Rosella tomato sauces, which I keep checking on and rotating and turning every couple of weeks. So anyway, this bottle here, let me zoom you back in. We had a bit of a mishap bringing all the bottles into the shed here from out in the backyard there. As soon as it started to rain, I was sort of grabbing them as quick as I could, and I happened to drop this one on the concrete. So never mind. I don't know what he was. He would have been like a little extract, a little paste or something. I'm not quite certain. So very cool little jar though. So next up is the Oxford Polish Foot Spray. Now isn't that beautiful? Old amber colour boot polish, I dare say, from Footscray, Melbourne. So very special. He is later with the lid, so probably 30s, 1930s through to maybe 50s. Who knows, maybe a little bit earlier. So generally most of this screw top is, as I said, from 1930s onwards. So next up we have the little, what was he again? Vicks Vapor Drop, that's right. I've never ever found one of these with saying Vicks Vapor on the bottom. So very cool, nice to know what that was in them. I kept saying when I was finding them, castor oil blue. They're not castor oil bottles by any means. It's just sort of what I was saying at the time. I should have been saying cobalt blue. Nothing to do with castor oil, that's for sure. So that little triangle on the base of these next two, from research I've done in previous years, finding one or two of these, I think I have, basically that little triangle stands for pinnacle. Now once again, I'm not too certain what was in those two, whether they were the same as the Vicks Vapor there. You can see he's got the triangle in the middle also, so who knows, they may all been Vicks Vapor, or maybe this guy was just Vicks Vapor and the pinnacle bottles there were holding or containing something else. So moving forward, we have the beautiful old glass insulator. You can see the letters AGM stamped in there, quite bold. That stands for Australian Glass Manufacturers. So this is, as I said, an old insulator, and it would be dated around World War I era. So I have dozens of these, and they're absolutely beautiful, quite collectible, especially when you get them in different colours. Purple, amber, you'll find heaps of them. So we've got the beautiful old Angus & Co. ink bottle up the back here. What a bloody ripper. It took me quite a while to clean these out, as you're seeing there with that dirty guy off to the left there. So this is also going to, I'm probably going to fill it with marbles or something cool, maybe even pennies or coins or something, and give this to my boss as a present. He's just a legend. I love working with him and for him, and his name is also Angus. So awesome stuff. He takes a lot of interest in what I do too. You know, whenever I have a day off, he says, "Where are you going to go hunting tomorrow, mate?" Or, you know, he actually called me today and said, "Oh, where are you off to today?" So anyway, another Angus & Co. Clag bottle, this one, not an ink bottle, beautiful old Clag bottle. Funny thing about Clag too, I can remember using that in primary school, and we used to eat it. We used to eat it off the paintbrush. I don't know why. I think we just used to dare each other as kids. You know, I bet you won't eat some Clag. And we would just eat it by the spoonful, by the mouthful. So really cool, the old Clag bottle. I'm not quite sure what this one is. I dare say he's a little ink bottle. And next up, we've got the funny little bottle. I don't know what he is. You can see the embossing on the side, which says NEBUZO. L. So Neboozle? I don't know. So let's get through these quickly and finish it up. A couple more things I'm going to show. We've got the old Pond's cream bottles, which are just great. You can see the Pond's written up the top there in that little one. So little moisturizer, Pond's cream bottles, following through probably more moisturizer bottles, and also the old Vegemite jars, which are just awesome. So anyway, that is about it for bottles. I tell you what, a pretty hot tip from my brother to go check out that lake. And he also said about another one too, which we need to go check out as well. So if we did that well at the first lake, what are we going to find at the second lake? So, and the first lake that we just shown, I'll tell you what, we only covered a little bit of that area. So my brother actually messaged me the other night saying, Luke, how did you go? I've got to get back to him. I said to him, Daniel, I did go out there. It was bloody amazing. We scored a heap of bottles. I just need to clean them up and send you a picture. So I'm going to do that now, shoot a few pictures of these bottles together and send through to Daniel, saying a big thank you, and also the steering wheel, which I thought was really cool. So he actually sent me a picture of the lake, of the steering wheel that we sat up on the car, remember? And I said to him, hey, it's still standing. I put that up there. I put the steering wheel back in place. So anyway, just quickly, before I go, I'm not going to make this too long-winded. Last video, we got out and hunted for the gold coins. And some will have seen that I was building that pallet, a coffee table display case with the glass panel cut out in the middle, and the depth, below to put all the coins and relics. So, well then, we've been quite busy. We've built another table here. I've put together a bit of a makeshift bench. We've bought ourselves a double bezel, a drop saw, a few other tools, routers, what have you, a new sander, and we're going to continue doing this. And I've started to actually have a few people ask me to build tabletops, all sorts of weird and wonderful things for them. So we've got a couple more on the way here to go, of sanding up and finishing. Once again, they are all made from timber or recycled timber pallet wood that I'm picking up from work. So this guy's nearly finished. He needs a good sand on the back and a bit more staining. You can see the beautiful knots in the wood coming out, the lines, the beautiful timber. So once you expose it, excuse me, I swallowed a bug. And as you can see, we've also got a heap more building material in the backyard. It's a bit of a bloody mess, actually. I need to get through and bust them all up and clean them up. So you can see I've been writing my name on the pallets at work, so no one else takes them, all this good wood that I'm going to be using in future. So next up is a big dining table, and I'll show you bits and pieces of that as I go too. Now, I'm going to finish sanding this, put these bottles away, and it's about time to go pick up the boys. So really hope you enjoyed, and we will catch you next time. Cheers guys, happy hunting. Okay, so here we are on the lake's edge, and we finally made it over here. Around the lake here, it's very sticky and hard going, so we're going to have to be careful where we're walking. There's a lot of bones. Okay, so here we are. We finally made it down to the lake's edge, down to the water there. The wind is a little bit crazy there, sorry. So a 10-minute walk around. Rightio, so I tell you what. Right, so I'm standing here taking it all in, trying to catch my breath, and I tell you what, I think that is about enough for over that. Hey, here's our next little guy. We've got a, what is it? A syrup of, it's a fallow syrup. There we go. I know what these guys are. I'm having trouble reading the label there. fellow. Rightio guys, there is our haul. I'm really sorry about that wind. It continues to go on and on straight through the ears for me today. I think I'm getting a headache, so let's pull all the bottles out of our back pocket. We really did pretty well getting them all over here, I think. Okay, so welcome back there guys. That is about it for us today. We've got you in the shed, all the bottles cleaned up and ready to take you through a look. I will say too, I shouldn't have said today a second ago. It was actually about 3 days ago. So we've spent the last few days cleaning up all these bottles. As I said, we're going to get you in the shed now to give you a look, as they've got the best light. Okay, so welcome back there guys. It's a couple of days on and we've got all our bottles cleaned up. Bottles are being manufactured in the warehouse. Basically, I'm trying to think what to say. Basically though, the dye...